Hey, look at that. We are live. Stephen Farrow here, Northern Utah Jobs. Heidi Ben-Como, the Christmas Career Kringle. Welcome, Heidi.
That fast.
We're going to talk about something slightly different today. We're going to talk about the funniest, most ridiculous excuses people actually use to get out of work. Now, none of these are our employees. These are just employees out there on the internet. We just pulled a list, but these are just too much. I can't. I'm going to start off with one of my favorites. Heidi, you ready?
Do you know that normal people don't do this in their downtime?
I know.
Weird.
All right, so I'm skipping the intro, by the way, because I'm just so excited. Okay, so Brandon, why can't you make it in? My grandma tried to poison me again.
Again. That's the key. Again.
Okay, why can't you come in? An employee couldn't come in because his llama wouldn't stop barfing. must have been from Preston, Idaho, Heidi.
Right? Actually, I do live next door to somebody with a llama, so.
So that's a real excuse then, huh?
Well, and they have alpacas too.
Another employee called in, and again, these are not ours. This is just a list off the internet. You can find this. An employee called in sick because he ate cat food instead of tuna, and he was deathly ill. had some tummy troubles there. It wasn't the Rona, it was the tuna. It was the cat food.
I just want to know how you messed that up. Like, do you store your cat food right next to your tuna and you're like, I just wasn't paying attention. I was really craving a tuna sandwich.
Okay, and if you're watching this, comment below if you've had some fun call-ins of yourself that you want to share, whether it was you or an employee. Okay, this one is really funny. An employee employee's calling their boss, right? And he's like, "Hey, Heidi, I can't come in." And Heidi's like, "Okay, what's going wrong?" I'm stuck in the blood pressure machine at the grocery store and I can't get out.
That's a valid reason. I've gotten stuck in that machine before.
How do you get stuck in a blood pressure machine?
It just keeps squeezing, and then you're like, okay, you're gonna deflate now, and it took forever. And I started having like a little bit of a panic attack.
There's the release button, like you just hit it.
I didn't know that, Stephen.
Or like unplug the machine, scream for help. Like, come on.
I was embarrassed. I was like, who in the crowd gets stuck in this? Like, hundreds of people a day come over to this blood pressure. It actually was at Sam's Club, not at
my goodness.
Walmart, but still. And I was so embarrassed. And my husband's standing next to me, and he thought it was hilarious. So he just sat there and laughed. And I'm having a full-blown panic attack because I'm stuck in this. So that is a valid reason.
All right. So here's another related arm, getting your arm stuck or hurt. An employee broke his arm reaching to grab a falling sandwich. That's why he couldn't get in.
I'm pretty sure that that's make-believe.
And then one employee called. His wife found out he was cheating.
Oh gosh.
And so he had to spend the day retrieving his belongings from the dumpster.
Well, if you're gonna act like trash, you can live like trash.
And then that same employee, his grandmother was pretty upset that he cheated on his wife, and so he called in the next day and claimed that his grandmother poisoned him with ham.
No, I'm pretty sure you added that last part on.
No, I'm serious. Okay, so how you liking this so far, Heidi? We got some good ones?
Yeah, I do. I did read one about it was this guy, and he called in because he had a sliver in his butt, and so he couldn't go into work. And that is my all-time favorite one that I've ever seen.
Oh, well, I got one better for you.
No, you don't.
Maybe not better. Somebody called in and said they can't come into work because his fortune teller had asked him not to step out of the house or he would suffer a brain hemorrhage. A fortune teller.
Are those things still is that still a thing nowadays?
Yeah, I get mine read every day. I don't leave the house without it.
I don't believe that.
Okay. Another here. This one, it's hard to believe, right? Some of these, you just don't know what to think. But one gal, she called and said she couldn't come to work because she accidentally got on a plane. How do you accidentally get on a plane? Tell me how this works.
I'm trying to figure out how she got past security. Like, that crap is for real.
You have to have a ticket.
I mean, I've heard of stowaways, of course, everybody has. But how do you, like, you have to have bought a ticket beforehand.
Okay, so this one's a more common one. And again, if you're watching this, comment if your favorite call out. But this is very common, Heidi. Correct me if I'm wrong, all right? Okay, I have to attend the funeral of my wife's cousin's pet because I was the uncle and the pallbearer.
Pet deaths is a real, I get that this is a real thing, but you can't schedule it for like your day off.
Right, you have a little bit more flexibility there, right?
Later in the day.
And your wife's cousin's pet. I mean, I don't know.
Believable.
Like, yeah, your wife's cousin's grandmother. Like, it just how far down the family line do you want to go here?
I read about one who it was like their second cousin, 3 times removed or something like that. Their cat had a hairball and they couldn't go into work.
Oh my goodness!
And I'm like, okay, you gotta find a more valid reason, honey. If
Okay,
you can't make it a good one.
Here's one. An employee said that someone glued her doors and windows shut so she couldn't leave the house to come to work.
Are you sure it wasn't her that glued it shut?
Probably should drug test that person. I don't know.
Random drug test day. The next day you come back to work.
Yeah. Drink lots of water.
Primary juice.
An employee's false teeth, flew out the window while driving down the. Oh wow, that sounds pretty real. That I wouldn't laugh about that one. I feel really bad. Those false teeth are.
What were you doing with your mouth sticking out the door to get your teeth to fall out?
It's some people like to stick their head out the window and get some fresh air.
So I'm pretty sure it was more like their teeth were like all wet and they wanted to dry them off and they were sticking them out the window as the air was going by. Let's see if I can get bugs in my teeth is really what they were testing.
Okay, here's another one. This one is pretty unique. I got to give this person credit. An employee refused to come to work because, you ready? His fish was unwell. His fish, Heidi, was unwell.
It's pet fish.
Pet fish. It was probably a goldfish,
Probably. And those things don't survive very well. At least at my house.
This one's pretty creative. You ready? An employee claimed that the ozone, Heidi, in the air flattened his tires. Something in the air. It must be ozone.
Something in the air today.
I think it might take the world's dumbest boss to fall for that one. The ozone.
I mean, I guess it could happen. Like, because every so often, I guess tires can go flat for I don't know. I don't know how you would make that valid.
I don't know. Okay, here's another one. An employee was bowling. Bowling.
Yeah.
The game of his life. This was the game of his life, and he couldn't make it to work. He just couldn't stop. He was, this was his game. He could not stop and go to work.
Hey, if you're going to call in for work, at least he's being honest and not saying that it was his cousin's wife's, dog's, cat's funeral.
I would rather have that excuse than my fish or my cat or my cousin's wife's husband, sister-in-law.
I ate cats been 5 times removed, had a cat that ate the goldfish, and now we got to watch him.
And this is a pretty honest one. I like this one too. An employee had been at the casino all weekend and still had money left to play with on Monday morning.
At least they're being honest.
I would respond with, that's great. Well, you're not going to have any money because I'm firing you. Goodbye. save your money. Don't gamble it away because you're not going to have a job when you get back. That's what I would say to that.
Did they at least call in 12 hours prior to their shift?
Doesn't indicate, but I doubt it.
Paulo says it has to be 24 if you're gambling. It has to be 24 hours before.
This is kind of a funny one, and this happened to one of our internal employees, but they didn't call in. It just happened a couple months ago. An employee said they have bats in her hair. I don't know. Is that a thing? Like if your hair's all curled up and knotted, do you call those bats? Is that where those are knots? Not all right. I've never heard them be called bats.
I've never heard of that before.
All right. So, but we've had an employee had an actual bat in her hair. So you know who you are. So sorry. That's never
awful.
Attacked by bats. Okay, an employee said she was bitten by a duck. That's why, mighty ducks can't come into work today.
Have you ever been bitten by a duck, Steven?
I've been nipped by a duck, yes.
It freaking hurts.
This one probably is more common, but just maybe not shared. An employee was experiencing traumatic stress from a large spider found in her home, and she had to stay home to deal with it.
Oh my word, I have a sister-in-law who is so terrified of spiders that every time she sees a spider, she freaks out. And like she saw a spider in her car, she parked in the middle of the highway and got out of her car and waited till the next person drove up, slammed on his brakes, came out and got the spider out of her car.
I may have almost caused a car accident one time when I had a spider crawling down the side of my face when I was driving. Yeah, that was not good.
Oh, that would be funny to watch. Spiders are not my weakness. However, like mice, I am blindingly terrified of. I will freak out. And grasshoppers. I can't do grasshoppers and mice, but I can do spiders.
Here we go. We got Honest Abe. The employee said he'd gotten drunk the night before and is now suffering a hangover. I can appreciate someone saying, "Look, we'd rather have you be honest about that than coming to work hungover or even worse, intoxicated. That would get you fired right away."
Right.
Okay. Here we go. An employee caught their uniform on fire by putting it in the microwave to dry.
Next time, try the oven, honey.
Is that real? Do people put something in the microwave to dry it off? I don't get it.
Hair blow dryer works well. The oven works well. The microwave does not.
No, the oven does not work well. That sounds terrible. That is. Do not listen to Heidi. Do not put anything in the oven besides baked pans and food that goes on the pan.
I could tell you why the clothes started on fire. It's because any metal on there probably zapped out the micro. I've killed enough microwaves in my time.
I don't even want to know.
My poor mother.
Okay. Happy day. Okay. An employee woke up in a good mood and didn't want to ruin it.
I felt that on a personal level.
That doesn't make any sense, Heidi. Wouldn't you want to bring the good mood to work and share that with everybody? I'm confused. I wake up every day in a good mood.
I don't. I'm not a morning person, but then I listen to my book on the ride to work, and then I'm in a really good mood by the time I get to work.
Okay, this one is good, Heidi. Law and Order right here. You ready?
Ready for it.
Employee's dead grandmother was being exhumed for police investigation. That was the same grandmother that, had the cat that died a week before.
I thought you were going to say the same grandmother that poisoned him, and I was like, oh my gosh, he killed him.
This one I can relate to. You ready? An employee was feeling too upset after watching the Hunger Games.
I didn't get into that show that much.
Yeah, me neither.
I honestly thought you were going to say like Grey's Anatomy or something.
Let's see here. An employee had a headache after going to too many garage sales. Oh my gosh, really? Definitely from Utah.
I feel like I should be personally offended by this.
You live in Idaho, so you're fine.
True that.
All right. An employee had to mow the lawn to avoid a lawsuit from homeowners association. Oh, yeah.
That's a real thing. Okay.
Okay.
I got told by the homeowners that if I didn't start watering my front lawn, that I was going to get charged a fine because my lawn is brown.
Holy cow, Heidi. Look at this one. An employee said a cow broke into her house and she had to wait for the insurance man.
I haven't had a cow break into my house before, but I have had like a very large dog break into my house before.
All right, so here's the last one that I'm going to leave you with because this one is very common in the staffing industry. You ready? This is an employee calling off. An employee forgot he had been hired for another job.
I get that one like on a daily basis.
Isn't that terrible? Like, hey, I forgot. I accepted another job. Sorry, that's why I didn't show up here.
We actually had one of our clients was calling and venting to us. They had a new opening that they needed to fill immediately. They had a team members go out for COVID and was quarantining and had accepted another job. And then when they called him was like, hey, you coming back? You should be done with quarantine now. And he was like, oh, well, actually, I forgot to tell you I accepted another job.
Oh, that's terrible.
Put the company in a hard spot. They were willing to hold the position until they were done with quarantine, but
that is terrible. Well, since we're going live in the job boards, we ought to talk about jobs, Heidi.
Do we have to, Steven?
Yeah, we do. Sorry.
Okay.
But I got some cool like commercials. We don't even have to talk about it. I'm just going to do a commercial, right? Are you ready?
And we'll be back right after this.
Woo!
The flipping job that's going on right now.
Or what?
I was talking during the whole thing. Sorry, what?
Didn't those cookies look delicious?
They were cookies? Yeah. We had a bet going on.
Wow,
They were either peppermint candy thingies, like anyway. They were either those or cookies.
Yo, Heidi, you didn't even know they were cookies.
No, I didn't actually.
Oh my gosh.
We had a bit of a bet going on.
That's referencing TreeHouse Foods in Ogden, Utah, $14 to $15.50 per hour, depending on shift. Hiring right now. Grave shift is where the magic happens. We want to get you out there. We want to get you out there fast, and just a great company. It's easy. This is not production. This is looking at cookies, making sure they're in a straight line, putting them in packages, occasionally maybe stirring some dough up. It's not physically demanding. It just requires you to be on your feet, and it requires you to enjoy cookies. So I don't know. That sounds pretty bad to me.
I mean, I don't know whether to love this job or to hate this job because of TreeHouse Foods, I have gained like 10 pounds, I swear.
Yeah, they're good cookies. So that's one client we're hiring for. Another one. You ready?
The coolest thing ever.
Did you figure that one out?
Yeah, they make electronic kidneys. It's freaking robots.
That's right. So we're hiring it for Cenius right now, all shifts. Really, Graves, the night shift, the 5 p.m. to 5 a.m. That is where that's where we need the most help. And so check it out, elwoodjobs.com. Apply today. Start today. You can go through our paid orientation. It's 3.5 hours. Pick your shift. You can work full-time, part-time, lots of options right now for Cenius.
And it is such a desirable job that people are even coming in from Wyoming just to get this job. That's how cool.
And Pocatello now, Heidi.
Oh, well, I wasn't aware that Idahoans were getting on the board of this, but
yeah, so you better spread the word with all your cousins out there in Idaho.
it is a very, very desirable job. And who does not want to say that they make electronic kidneys all day? I geek out every time I talk about Fresenius because I think it's the coolest thing ever.
And I just realized I've got a call in 2 minutes. I'm going to have to end this Facebook Live, Heidi. And it's a call with a company called Autoliv, which they're also hiring through Elwood Staffing, 16 to 17.28 per hour, all shifts available, all facilities, Ogden, Brigham City, Tremont, and Promontory. Then there's a vendor inside called ES Quality. You're sorting and inspecting the parts. That's not a production position. That one's a really fun job. And so definitely check it out, elwoodjobs.com. Apply today. Heidi has a bajillion jobs in the Cache Valley market, so make sure you click on the Logan branch at elwoodjobs.com and go through those positions. She's got jobs paying from $18 to $30 an hour to $13 an hour, whatever's the best fit for you. So make sure you jump on. And look, we got a comment. Oh, let's see. Promontory, $18.74 an hour. That's right. Atisha, welcome to the chat. So where do people go, Heidi? Where do they go to apply?
Elwoodjobs.com or give me a call at 435-750-0886. You can just Google Elwood Staffing in Logan.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Thanks, Heidi.